During dinner, Dad looked straight at me and said, "You're not a guest here. Start paying the bills or move out." My sister smirked. Finally, some consequences. I didn't argue. That night, I quietly transferred every utility and account out of my name. A week later, Mom called in tears. "Why don't we have electricity or water? James, you either start paying every bill or you move out." Dad's voice cut through the clatter of silverware. The air smelled of burnt garlic and anger. My sister, Ivy, leaned back in her chair, smirking like she'd been waiting for this show. "Finally," she said. "He gets treated like the adult he pretends to be." Mom stared at her plate, cutting invisible food. No one looked at me. The ceiling fan buzzed like it wanted to leave too. I didn't argue. I didn't need to, because I knew what they didn't. Every single utility in this apartment, every account, every payment plan, was under my name. By the end of dinner, I just nodded and said quietly, "Okay." That night, I opened my laptop and started transferring everything out. Electricity, water, internet, gas. Line by line, my name disappeared from their world. A week later, Mom called in tears. "James, the power's out. We don't have water. What's going on?" I just said, "Guess I moved out after all." And then, I hung up. My name's James Ryland, 27 years old. Born quiet. Stayed that way. I work IT support for a city law firm. Low-stress job, decent pay. Still, I've been covering their bills since college. Back then, Dad called it family duty. Now he calls it not enough. I'm not angry. Not anymore. Anger used to make me stutter. Now silence does the talking for me. They think I'm the problem. Lazy, ungrateful, distant. But the truth is, I've just stopped trying to prove anything. I've seen what happens when you do. They take, and they forget. And there's something else I haven't told them. Something that's been sitting in the back of my head for years. A truth they'd never survive hearing. Family members introduced. Dad, Ray Ryland, 56. Construction foreman turned part-time landlord. He measures respect by money and silence by weakness. Mom, Linda, 52. Once soft-spoken, now just tired. She still defends him even when she knows he's wrong. And Ivy, 23, the golden child, straight teeth, straight lies. She's always had Dad's voice, sharp and sure. Tonight, they all sit in the living room like judges, Dad with his arms crossed, Ivy scrolling on her phone, pretending not to listen. Mom staring at the wall like she's counting cracks. "Why'd you cut the utilities, James?" Dad growls. "You told me to move out," I say. He slams the table. "Don't play smart with me." Ivy looks up. "He probably did it out of spite. That's his thing, right?" I smile a little. "No, Ivy. Spite needs energy." Her smirk fades for a second. Just a second. It started with a loan. 2 years ago, Dad asked me to co-sign on a renovation project. Said it was for family. I trusted him. When the company folded, the debt came to me. I paid it off quietly. Didn't even ask for help. Tonight, Dad acts like it never happened. "You think you're the only one with responsibilities?" He snaps. "You're the only one who gets rewarded for doing nothing." I lean back. Rewarded? I've been paying for this place since 2018. Mom flinches. Ivy laughs softly. He loves pretending he's a victim. My jaw tightens. That's when Ivy slips. Too comfortable, too cruel. She mutters, "You shouldn't have signed that loan in the first place. You knew Dad couldn't get approval." Dad's eyes shoot toward her, sharp and warning. Mom's fork drops. And I realize they've all known. I stand up. For once, I'm not shaking. "So," I say, "you all knew he used my credit for that loan." No one answers. Mom whispers, "James, please don't." Dad cuts in. "We're family. We help each other." I laugh, quiet, sharp. "Help? You ruined my credit for 3 years." Ivy rolls her eyes. "Oh, here we go again?" I look straight at her. "You knew too. You signed as witness." Her mouth opens, then closes. Dad glares at me. "Don't twist things." I take a slow breath. "You've twisted enough for everyone." The room goes still. Even the refrigerator hum stops feeling safe. That's when Dad mutters, low but clear, "You've always been a disappointment." I smile faintly. Maybe, but at least I pay my own bills. His face goes red. Mine doesn't. I remember the first time I realized I didn't belong. I was 19. College dorm. Dad called asking for my bank info. Said it was urgent. By the time I checked, my tuition fund was empty. They'd used it to pay Ivy's car loan. When I asked why, Mom said softly, "She needed it more. You'll manage, James." I worked 2 jobs that semester, ate ramen for months, graduated late, still sent money home after, because that's what I was taught. Family comes first, even if you're not really part of it. And now, sitting here years later, I realize they've never said thank you, not once. "Ivy," I say slowly, "remember that renovation project Dad asked me to co-sign for?" She freezes. "Yeah? I ran a background check last month." Dad stiffens. "It wasn't a renovation. It was a shell company. Registered under your name?" Her phone slips from her hand. Mom gasps. "I guess you didn't know I'd find out," I say. Dad stands up. "That's not true." But his voice cracks. The kind of crack that doesn't come from lies, but from fear. "It was your idea, wasn't it?" I ask him quietly. He doesn't answer. Mom finally speaks, her voice shaking. "You used your daughter's name for fraud?" Dad yells, "I did it for this family." I just nod. "Yeah, that's what you always say." And then silence swallows everything. The living room looks smaller, like the walls are closing in. Ivy's crying, Dad's pacing, Mom's whispering prayers she doesn't believe in. And me, I'm just sitting there, calm. "I gave you all my silence," I say softly. "Tonight, I give you the truth." I tell them everything. The debt collectors, the sleepless nights, the jobs I lost trying to fix their mess. Dad tries to speak, but I raise a hand. "No, not this time. You don't get the last word." Mom reaches for me. "James, please." I pull back gently. "You had years to see me, you never looked." And that's when Ivy says it. Maybe he's right. Dad turns on her. "Don't you start." But she's already crying. "I'm tired too, Dad." For the first time, the house isn't against me. It's just breaking. The next morning, I packed a single bag, laptop, a few shirts, my passport. I didn't slam the door. I just left the keys on the counter and took one last look at the apartment, the one I'd paid for, lived in, and died in quietly for years. Mom followed me to the elevator, her voice cracked. "James, wait, I didn't know it would go this far." I turned to her. "You always say that." She cried harder. "I'm sorry." I nodded. "I believe you, but I can't carry you anymore." The elevator doors closed, and for the first time I felt weightless. 3 months later, new apartment, smaller, cleaner. Mine. I pay my bills, cook my own meals, and sleep without checking my phone for emergency calls. Mom texted once, said Dad's business went under. I didn't reply. Ivy sent another message later. "I left too, you were right." That one I answered, just said, "Good." Some nights I still hear echoes of their voices. The guilt, the shouting, the way they made me believe love was something to earn. But when I breathe in now, it's quiet. Real quiet. And for the first time, I don't carry their weight anymore. Only my own. If you were in my place, would you forgive or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your story matters here, because silence breaks different for everyone. Share your thoughts, like if you've ever carried a family that never noticed. Subscribe if you believe healing starts when you finally let go.